Hello and welcome to our monthly programme. The European Parliament has met in its plenary session in Strasbourg. Of major concern is the global food crisis and the looming famine in many developing countries. MEPs adopted an important report on the Galileo satellite navigation system and debated illegal immigration and the operations of Frontex. The problem of rising food prices has spread around the world, jeopardising political stability in many countries. The question at the heart of the debate of the European Parliament was how Europe can help developing countries to stave off famine.
Since the beginning of 2008, wheat prices have gone up by 300%, corn 200%, and at the same time demand has risen. Many developing countries and non-EU European countries have imposed restrictions on food exports. It is widely accepted that the world is facing a potentially serious food supply shortage, and that the era of cheap food is well and truly over. In addition, if the situation continues, urgent food aid to developing countries just won't be enough to solve the problem. Speaking in the plenary, Group Chairman Joseph Daul said that the EPP-ED Group is extremely concerned by this development and emphasised that the agricultural sector must undergo more in-depth reforms to resolve the crisis in a sustainable manner.
The emergency measures will only be a temporary solution to the problem. Agriculture the world over must be subject to in-depth structural reforms. We have to promote agricultural development, also in emerging economies, because the main challenge is that of food self-sufficiency for poor countries.
According to the chairman of the most influential group in the European Parliament, the CAP Health Check is the perfect opportunity to launch the debate on agriculture and food policy in Europe, even if solutions have to be found worldwide.
The solution to the food problem can only be seen as a global responsibility. Europe must find solutions in close cooperation with international bodies such as the World Bank, the IMF, and of course the WTO. We must also find a way to limit the adverse effects of financial speculation. Some people are starving while certain countries boast large reserves, although still limiting exports. Global speculators are playing with people's lives. We must do everything in our power to break these trends and make the market more transparent.
The Galileo satellite navigation system is an initiative launched by the European Union and the European Space Agency and is one of the most important elements of the Lisbon strategy. This system will be the first infrastructure in Europe to be commonly built and jointly owned and will be compatible with the current GPS system.
The European Parliament has always maintained that it is a strategic project and should be managed as a political priority. In her speech in the plenary, Etelka Pataki, rapporteur of the Galileo report, stressed,
a realistic timesschedule is crucial in order to secure the commercial advantage of Galileo to make it possible to avoid any further delay.
Galileo's deployment phase shall be fully publicly funded, whilst its exploitation phase could be funded privately. The deployment phase, which costs €3.4 billion, runs until 2013 and will be entirely funded by the EU. During the exploitation phase, the programme is promoting a balanced participation of SMEs across the 27 member states.
A program irányítását világos hatáskör megosztásra építettük föl.
The programme shall be based on the principle of a strict division of responsibilities. The European Commission acts as programme manager and will be helped by the Committee on the GNSS programme. It includes Galileo and EGNOS. The ESA is the prime contractor and the GSA will manage the security accreditation and the operation of the Galileo Security Centre.
Due to the newly invented Galileo Interinstitutional Panel, the Council, the Commission and the European Parliament will closely follow the progress of the implementation of the programme and the effectiveness of the governance arrangements. Galileo is based on a constellation of 30 satellites and a group of ground stations providing information concerning the positioning of users in the many sectors. Giova-A, the first European navigation satellite, was launched in 2005. The second satellite, Giova-B, has a similar mission but has greatly improved signal generation hardware. The satellite is scheduled to be launched on April the 27th.
The European Parliament debated the issue of illegal immigration in the European Union and the Frontex agency. Many are concerned about the coming summer period, when many illegal immigrants will risk their lives trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea in unsafe boats.
Despite Frontex and the Commission's efforts to curb this migration flow, the situation remains very grim on the ground. This year, Frontex has been endowed with more tools to work with, and it will work with double the budget it had last year and with a rapid intervention team in exceptional circumstances. Notwithstanding this, during the plenary, Simon Busuttil said that Frontex is only part of the solution.
Irridu jew ma rridux, is-soluzzjoni trid ukoll tinkludi diskussjoni serja dwar.
Whether we accept it or not, the solution hinges upon the issue of burden sharing between all member states, an issue which the Council of Ministers has shied away so far. It is tantamount to hypocrisy to scandalise ourselves when immigrants lose their lives at high seas, and at the same time leave the southern member states to deal with this tragedy on their own.
While it is clear that all member states are legally bound to rescue people in distress, they're not bound to accept these immigrants. What is absolutely clear is that immigrants cross the Mediterranean not to start a new life at their first port of call, but to reach the European heartland. Simon Busuttil appealed to the European institutions and the member states that if the law does not bind them to share the burden, there still lies a moral obligation on everyone to shoulder, equally and together. Likewise, the EPPED group is calling for a common European approach to immigration, and this is one of the EPPED group priorities for 2008 and 2009.
For an extended version of the plenary session debates, please check our website www.epp-ed.eu. This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPPED Group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. See you again soon.